Bonjour! My name is Abomination, and welcome back to the BHDL Season 7. I'm going to talk about my individual Pokemon like I did last season, and then my Easter egg reveals at the end of the video. This time I'm going to go in the order that I drafted them in, instead of last time I did the order of points. I'll do my draft order first. Now, I picked last to pick, and I did not like picking last. I understand that picking two things in a row is beneficial, but I did not like it. Just so you know. But, I'll talk about them. Corviknight. 9 games played, 6 kills, 5 deaths, +1 differential. I have drafted Corviknight in the past. I did enjoy him this season again. Defog. I don't think Stealth Rocks were an issue for me, or hazards rather, in any game. If they were used on me, I did defog them away successfully. They were not used on me that often. The worst I've seen the Stealth Rocks do to me this season, I believe, was Week 7 against Scorpion, and that's when he got the rocks up. Late game, they kind of started to do some damage, but, I mean, it was too late. Aside from that, hazards did not do anything. I dealt with them well enough, or they just weren't used on me. Because, I mean, honestly, if you look at my team, they're not that good against me. The only thing, really, that they're good against is Kira and Terra Ice, the common Terra Ice Jolteon. Everything else is neutral or resists them. Actually, yeah, Ursaluna resists them. So yeah, I enjoyed Corviknight. Got quite a few. 6 kills is pretty good for a defensive piece. And the slow U-turn that I did, perfect. Just pivot into Kyurem and Ursaluna. Really enjoyed Corviknight. Chevalier. Duco. Slowking. Also slow pivot. Only 3 kills, because I did not bother to even try to set up with him at all this season. 9 games played, same as Corviknight, and 5 deaths, -2. And this is the amount of games I believe is including my 1 game of playoffs against Branded P in the quarterfinals. I believe that is including that. Slowking did not really get to use Jelly Reception as much as I would have hoped in this season. When I tested it in OU, it's a lot easier. That's because they don't expect Slowking to be around. I mean, maybe they expect Galarian Slowking, whatever. I did not fire off a single Blizzard with Kyurem this entire season. Now, I did get a few good Chili Receptions off, so I did not dislike Slowking, and I would draft Slowking again. I would draft Corviknight again, by the way. I would easily draft Slowking again. The pair of Corviknight and with Slowking is absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Them both being weak to Electric did kind of annoy me in prep, though. I will say that. There was a few times I was like, because free Terra Electric was kind of a little bit open into my team. I mean, it was a little bit. Thank goodness my ground type was Ursaluna, because it meant if they Terra Electric, obviously they're being erased by Ursaluna, and can't hit it. But Terra Electric was a little bit kind of common. The only time Scorpion tried to Terra Electric to me. That's kind of the big thing. And Fire. If a Terra Captain hit Slowking super effectively, then Fire was a little bit more of an issue as well, Terra Fire. So like Raymond tried to Terra Fire me, and Twisted Games tried to Terra Fire me, although Landorus does not hit Slowking super effectively. It was enough that Fire was applying pressure to me. We saw Terra Fire with Dr. V as well. So common Terra types to hit Corviknight. That's fine, though. I was kind of fine because it forced those Terra types to be the case. Because if they're Electric or Fire, that means they're weak to Ground, which is fine. And I did bring Terra Ground Jolteon a few times. So anyway, I did like Slowking. I did not use it offensively at all. Every single time it was pivoting into with Chili Reception, or more often than not, I was pivoting with the eject button, and I really enjoy Regenerator eject button. I think that's a really clean way to just keep momentum, especially because it denies your opponent's momentum if they try to U-turn or flip turn on me or whatever. If eject button activates, he ignores it. He ignores the pivot, which is perfect. Heading up to Kyurem, 7 games played. Tied with my kill leader with 11 kills, 3 deaths, plus 8. 7 games played because Kyurem was very, very, very awkward. I probably, even though it did very well for me, it ended up with 11 kills, a lot of kills. I honestly feel like I might not draft it again because it was so awkward, and unless it gains some more coverage, but it hasn't gained coverage in all these years. In fact, it's lost moves. I think it's lost more moves than it's gained them. Because it gained Scale Shot and Freeze Dry over the years, good job. But it lost Roost, and Roost is pretty big for me, especially when you got stats like that. But it's typing. Ice is bad, being weak to Rock is bad, 95 speed as a dragon is kind of bad. You want to be fast as a dragon, you want to be able to hit things, or you want to be so bulky that you can take the other dragon's hit and then wipe them out. And Kyurem is not bulky enough. And if it runs that bulk, its big offensive stats are kind of wasted. So Kyurem was a little awkward. Now, I did enjoy Draco Meteor spam is obviously just good. It's just good. You just use Draco Meteor, and it's simple. It's simple. The fairy types did not really bother Kyurem. They didn't come in to Kyurem really in any game. I don't think a fairy type even stood in the way of Kyurem at all this season, so it really wasn't the issue. Draco Meteor, like you see, 11 kills is pretty good. I enjoyed Ursaluna more. I brought Ursaluna to 8 games. He only got 9 kills. Ursaluna is Vincent Maru, by the way, and 5 deaths. Stat-wise, Ursaluna did worse than Kyurem, but I just enjoyed it more. I had more fun setting up with Ursaluna. And the quarterfinal game is big performance for Ursaluna. Week 1 against, it was Zeus at the time, was a pretty good performance. I enjoyed doing 75% to an Ogerpon through Reflect. That was a pretty good performance. Obviously finished the game off in week 9 against Dr. V. Those are the big games, I think, for Ursaluna. Big shot on Rotom Mo in week 7 against Scorpion. It was just fun to do the amount of damage it did. Now, unfortunately, again, it wasn't bulky enough. I was looking at in prep. In week 3 against Raymond, I forced to bring a defensive one. And I felt like, it's weak to a significant amount of things because it's a ground type. So I had the option to make it a Terra Captain, but my Terra Captains are legendary, so that wasn't really an issue. But it wasn't helping Ursaluna that much because he was forced to take big hits, and it was kind of hard for him. It was hard for him. I wanted to run Resist Berries, I wanted to run Assault Vests, but that means I'm not Flame Orb, and if I'm not Flame Orb, that means I don't really have good normal stab. Because Double Edge is strong. Thankfully it learns Double Edge. It's a really strong move, and the recoil doesn't bother him too much because it's a massive HP stat. Would I draft Ursaluna again? Probably. I think I could. I could draft Ursaluna again. I wish it had Quick Attack, because Blood Moon gets Vacuum Wave, so if I had Quick Attack that would have been nice. Some sort of priority on him, but nope. Jolteon, Vatican, Terra Captain. I tied with my guild leader Kyurem with 11 kills, also 3 deaths, also +8. Vatican as a Terra Captain is devastating. There's not much to say. Obviously, I love this. I draft Jolteon often. I will do it again easily. Only if it's a Terra Captain, though. Or it gets some sort of ice coverage that's not Hidden Power. I don't want Hidden Power to come back, but if Hidden Power does come back, I might draft Jolteon again. But anyway. Devastating. I keep in week 7 against Scorpion. Devastating. Week 9 against Dr. V as a ground Terra. It's pretty devastating. Saved me from being completely swept by Ogerpon in the quarterfinals, but whatever. saved me against Superior, just sweeping my entire team in Week 3 against Raymond. Ursaluna in Week 4 was also fantastic. I destroyed a Zapdos in one shot against the notorious HIM. That was also a thing. Jolteon was great in Week 5 again, as well, against Arcane Niner. Lots of... his entire team is weak to either Electric or Ice in that game, so that was very strong. There's not much to say about Vodican Jolteon. It's just... he's fantastic. There's no question he's fantastic. And thank you, Emerald Miner, for being merciful enough that I got Jolteon, because he almost drafted it as well, but he instead drafted Sylveon, which I also wanted. Now, Jolteon got access to Weather Ball. That's a big thing why I wanted it, because that means I don't have to necessarily Terra Ice to fire off an Ice-type move if I have a Chilly Reception Slowking. But that didn't really come into play, but that was part of my vision in the team. So instead of Sylveon, I ended up getting Florges. Florges came to nothing. Didn't even show up to a single game. I had it written down for a few games, like Week 5 almost brought it. I think Week 9 almost brought it. I think Week 8 I almost brought it. But I almost brought it, I think, for the quarterfinals too, maybe, but not nearly as much. Unfortunately, my team structure kind of demands that I bring the top 4. I mean, Corviknight and Slowking together. And then I really kind of want to bring Kyurem and Ursaluna. Kyurem was awkward to bring, so sometimes I didn't bring it. But if I bring those 4, I got 2 more options, and then I need something that's fast, so that's either Infernape or Jolteon on the team, or Whimsicott. And then I got 1 more slot left, which I need to fill in something to help me handle something more better. And Florges just doesn't 1v1 things as well as I would like, because it's got no coverage. It was here because it's a Wish Passer. That's why I wanted Sylveon. Sylveon's better at Wish Passing. It's got a better HP stat than Florges. And Sylveon is just better. In general, it's just better. In every way, pretty much. Florges is more especially defensive, but that didn't really matter to me since I already had Slowking. And I just couldn't fit it in any team. It was also my second Fairy type under Whimsicott, and Whimsicott is just... I enjoyed better. I just enjoyed Whimsicott more than... Or I felt like Whimsicott was better in the matchup than Florges. Or Slowking was better in the matchup than Florges. And Scarf Florges is a thing, but I didn't see it as an option I saw it as an option, but not as the best option in any of the games I played, so... Sorry, Florges, I didn't bring it, and it didn't even have a name. I didn't give it a name. Overquill, Tchiku. Came 6 games... 3 kills, 5 deaths, -2. I feel like in my heart that I enjoyed Tchiku. However, it kind of was my fault that it did poorly in a few of the games. It got the Toxic Spikes up in Week 8 against Twisted Games, but it kind of struggled to do so because it got paralyzed and it eventually broke through paralysis, but yeah. In the quarterfinals, it was my fault, but it wasn't bulky enough to take a hit from Ogerpon, even after it's set up just a little bit. I was almost full health, but still wasn't quite bulky enough to handle it. Oh, and Week 3 was my fault. I let it die to a Superior, but again, it just barely wasn't bulky enough to take that hit against Superior. So I would... Oh, would I draft Florges again, by the way? I was already hesitant to do this, to draft it in this league. I didn't really want it. So, probably not unless I get backed into the corner picking it like I did this league. I would draft Overquill again. I did enjoy Intimidate. I did enjoy having Aqua Jet as an option. And, 1 weakness is pretty good. Of course. And 115 base attacks, good enough. Gong Shot hurts. Barb Barrage is a cool move, but the fact that I could just use Gong Shot instead seems kind of better to me. A Week 1 as well, I led with Tchiku, actually, against Zeus, and it did fine there. I got 1 layer of spikes and then died. So I guess it was fine there. Now Whimsicott, the Caper only brought 5 games, it says here, but I feel like it brought it more often. I actually really enjoyed Flamore, was her name. Her just having Encore as a threat is fantastic, and now in the quarterfinals game, I wanted to bring her instead of Overqwil, but if I did bring her instead of Overqwil, Cinderace was going to look better. But I wanted to bring her because she resists Ogerpon stabs, resists knockoff. Play Rough was going to be the only thing that could really hurt her from Ogerpon, and that felt like it was okay damage. And I can Encore. He had a lot of setup threats on his team. In general, having Prankster Encore was good. Was just good to bring in matchups. It's fun to have that option. And the offensive Life Orb one I brought in week 7 was pretty strong. She did pretty good again in week 8 against Twisted Games. It brought down. Well, it didn't actually bring down the Raging Bolt, but took a hit from it and weakened it enough that it was done for, pretty much. And week 9 as well, I called Dr. V trying to hit me with trying to hit Corviknight with a knockoff. Stayed in, hit Crocodile with a big shot, and but I wasn't able to trick away, or switcheroo rather, my Iron Ball, but it doesn't matter. The sheer finesse that Whimsicott has is pretty nice. Stats are a little low, but who cares? Got Prankster. Speed is fantastic. Prankster is there, and yeah, the typing is actually really strong. It resists a lot of dual stabs that are otherwise very offensive, like Urshifu. Both of the Urshifus. My more expensive Terra Captain in Infernape only came to 5 games. 6 kills, 1 death, plus 5 KD. I'm not Infernape's biggest fan in general. This is my only Stealth Rocker, which did come into play in week 8 when I led Infernape and Focus Sash, Terra Fighting to threaten out Iron Bundle, and then just used Stealth Rock. I enjoyed Infernape okay, and in week 1 it also saved me because I was Scarf, and I even through the sticky webs was able to outspeed a Cleavor and take it out. Otherwise, that would be pretty scary, and Corviknight would have to take a hit for me in order to take Cleavor out, which take a lot of damage at +2, of course. So, on paper, Infernape seemed good. This is like the opposite of Overqwil. On paper, it seemed good, but in my heart, I felt like it was okay. As a Terra Captain, it was a little awkward on my team, because Jolteon is just, it wants to Terra. Jolteon's faster, it uses the Terra better than Infernape, and really, I guess that's it. It doesn't have priority. Infernape has priority, and Infernape can take physical hits a little better, and Infernape can be mixed. But it was okay. It was okay, and it can be mixed, but really it's special fighting stab, because it doesn't really have good. It's got Focus Blast or Aura Sphere. It's okay, it's just not as good as Close Combat. So really it's kind of more physical, despite its stats being the same. And it learns better physical moves, like Earthquake. But it did have an option to be an Encore if I didn't want Whimsicott, but Whimsicott just does that better. So Infernape was in a bit of a weird spot that I felt like Jolteon did offensive Terra Captain better, and Whimsicott did the support set better. Just minus Stealth Rocks. And then my third Terra Captain in Porygon 2 only came to 4 games and did 2 and 3. Obviously, the most annoying memory with it is in week 3 when I was Terra Electric, and I let it get paralyzed when I thought of Glare, and I was like, okay, if I just Terra, I can ignore the Glare. But I didn't. So, whoops. Aside from that, that was unlucky. And then in week 5 against Arcaniner, Metagross got a +1 attack boost with a Meteor Mash, which annoyed me, but I had to let Porygon 2 go because of that boost. And I had to eat a +1 hit with Ursaluna instead. Which, thank you Ursaluna Vincimaru for taking out. Infernate's... what the... Whimsicott was Flamore, I said. Porygon 2's name is Caradine. Centomano, yes, of course. Infernape's name is Centomano. Maybe we'll draft Infernape again, by the way. But Maybe not. I mean, I don't like Infernape that much in general. I'm not a big fan of monkeys. But Infernape pulls it off well enough. And then Porygon 2 I do like, my second normal type on this team. And as in my first ever draft team, I do enjoy Porygon 2. It's very bulky. It lost Teleport, which is just very unfortunate, because it would be able to pivot. Now, that's the reason why it didn't come to that many games, by the way. It's because Corviknight Slowking can pivot. Slow pivot. If Porygon 2 still had Teleport, I probably would have brought it to more games. Because if imagine I clicked Trick Room, and Teleport is a negative priority move. So if I click Trick Room, and then Teleport, I get the freest switch into Ursaluna, and then what do? You die. You take too much damage, that's what you do. And I looked, unfortunately, in this generation, the only thing that learns both Teleport and Trick Room is Gallade and Gardevoir, I believe. Those are the only two things. I will double check that again right now, but I did look at this in the roster when I built my team. Oh, and Deoxys. Deoxys Defense. Deoxys Defense was dropped halfway through the season, and I did almost pick it up simply because it had both Trick Room and Teleport, but that would be another Psychic type, and I already had Slowking, and I wasn't going to drop Slowking for Deoxys Defense. Anyway, I would draft Porygon 2 again, Caradine. And then finally, Misdreavus did not show up to any games. I mean, it's 2 points. It's pretty self-explanatory as why it didn't come to any games. The set, I could have brought it, and I did think about it for some times. 85 speed is okay with Will-O-Wisp, and Pain Split's pretty good on its low HP. But the big thing that I could do with Misdreavus on this team is I can Trick Room, and then I can Memento, which would be like the Trick Room Teleport thing that I just said, except it only works once. And I'm devoting one of my 6 guys to a 2-point Misdreavus, which would be okay. So I didn't end up doing that, obviously. There's 2 guys on my entire roster that I did not bring. Because my team is a little awkward, I almost want to say top-heavy, because Corviknight, Slowking, Kyurem, and Ursaluna they were expensive. And also Infernape, but that was okay. Overall, I did like this team. Of course. Felt like it did pretty well. And it was one of the weakest teams in the power rankings, unfortunately, but it did well. I think not to toot my own horn, but I piloted it very well, and was able to walk away with an 8-1 record in the regular season, plus 22. I was able to handle a lot of setup threats, like the Cleavor that tried to set up on me in week 1. That's really kind of the main thing I can think of. In general, most people didn't really want to bring setup against me, because there's a Whimsicott right there, which shuts all forms of setup. But yeah, it was setup that eventually bit me. Brandon had a lot of setup on this team, so I knew something had to try to set up on me. That's why I really wanted Whimsicott, but yeah, brought Overquill instead. That's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching me throughout the season, and enjoy my Easter egg thing at the end. I'll be back for week 8, and oh, sorry, one more note. Week 8, season 8. One more note. This was the last season of Scarlet and Violet. I will likely not be doing another league in Scarlet and Violet. So thank you, Scarlet and Violet, for all the leagues that we've done. Pokemon Champions is next, if it supports draft leagues. So yeah, I'll be back for season 8 of the BHDL, if they accept me. And we'll be in Pokemon Champions most likely. I'm guessing around June, if I had to take a guess, which would be when that would be starting up. So thank you for watching, listening again. Enjoy my last piece. Smell you later. Goodbye, Scarlet and Violet. Thank you. Skyrus is done.
I can't believe we lost.
Either way, Terra Blast is massive.